Okay, we're going to work with sticky dough and cutters that are difficult to work with because they're so detailed. We first start off with very floured surface, flour the dough, and the cutters are a 1/2 inch tall, so I like to roll the dough a 1/4 inch or less. Able to move it. And I'm going to use this bear claw. It's small. Usually the small detailed cutters are the ones people have the most issues with. So before I would cut into the dough, I dip this into my flour. Okay. And when you press into the dough, try to keep it on the edges and not so much in the middle. And I always use my knife to help with the release. See? And I will dip the cutter in the flour for each cut. See, that tapping really helps with the release. Okay, I'm going to try our 3-inch graduation cap, which can be tricky because of all the detail in the tassel. And the 3-inch seems to be the hardest size for people to work with when using dough. If you're using fondant, fondant's great. And I forgot to almost dip that. Like so, you have to dip it for each cut. Tap out the excess. Some people have told me they use powdered sugar to roll their dough in instead of flour, and that would work also. But see? Not bad. Now I'm going to use a T-Rex skull. This one has a lot of detail in it. Look at those teeth. And this is a small size, so it can be tricky. Put that flour on there, and dip my cutter in flour, and then gently press mainly on the outside, not so much on the inside because it's going to leave an impression. Like I said, the cutters are a 1/2 inch deep, and the interior is slightly shorter. And there you have it. Okay, now I'm going to use our 2018 cookie cutter. This is the small size. It's 3 inches wide. And dip it in my flour. On the edges. Tap. And there you have it. Some places you have to take that out, but that's our 2018. And now I'm going to use our Bumblebee cookie cutter. It can get tricky because of the antennae. Those can break off if it's cut into too deep of a dough. So I'm going to dip this in my flour, tap, flour my dough. See how the flour's in the antenna? I want to tap that out. See? Okay. And some people like to use a rocking motion. That will help with the release also. So you don't have to tap. Oh, I lost an antennae, see? Let me make another one. I'll get some new dough here. Okay. Dip my cutter, tap off that excess. And detailed cutters can take some time to make, so if you're used to just cutting, go on to the next one, cut again, that fast pace, you're going to be disappointed. With detailed cutters, you really have to take the time with them. There we go. And there we have our little bumblebee. So cute. Now moving on to some more detailed cutters. I'm just having fun doing this. I've been wanting to do this for so long because there are customers that aren't pleased with their cutter because they don't have good luck with their dough. And I've really wanted to help them, but you can only do so much with emails. So hopefully showing you this will help. I'm doing a bear, very detailed, this grizzly bear. And like I said, this is a small size. The smaller ones are really challenging to use. Not impossible, just challenging. And my handy dandy knife. And the dough I'm using is pretty much room temperature right now. Chilled dough works better, but I can make it work. See? Okay, now my next one is super detailed, but it is a bigger cutter, so it's a little bit easier to do. And this recipe is my mom's recipe. It's just a simple sugar cookie dough recipe. This one, I'm going to have a hard time, is the Millennium Falcon. Trying to get this all floured up is kind of tricky. There we go. Okay. Now, so just on the edges, kind of rock it so it releases, and there. See? You don't really need to press in the center so much because it will leave an impression. And there's your Millennium Falcon. Now let me show you what happens when you do press hard in the middle, what issues you have versus just applying pressure on the edges. Okay, let's go back to the T-Rex. All right. I'm not going to flour them. I'm just going to cut into them, and I'm going to push really deep and see what happens. See how it gets stuck? It gets stuck in there. Again, my handy dandy knife will help. But see what a mess that turns out to be? Everything's sticking. It's all stuck in there. It's hard to release. I'm going to try that again with another. I shouldn't be reusing this dough, but I just want to show you. Okay, let's go back to Bumblebee. I'm pushing really hard all over the entire cutter. And oh, it won't come out. It's in there. And see, I lost an antennae. It gets stuck in there like that. Okay. I think you get the idea. I hope this has helped you understand how to work with detailed cutters a little bit better. Like, so once you get the hang of it, it really is a fun cutter to use. Thank you very much.